Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Tool Time with Mongo. Find ourselves this evening in Mongo's garage, right in front of my Packout rack. If you guys are not familiar with Mongo's garage, I'll give you a real quick 360 of the mess that is currently my garage. We're currently working on Pat, the junkyard dog. But as you can see, I'm standing over here in the corner. And tonight we're going to talk about Packout because that is a popular subject on YouTube. I am a Packout user and believer, and I happened to stop at the Hobo Freight today and checked out their new offering of modular tool storage, the Bauer modular tool storage system. And we're going to have a little video clip of my time I spent just checking it out. I didn't purchase any of it because I have far too much money invested in the Packout system right now to jump ship and start something with how shall I put it, nicely inferior product. Yes, I'm not a fan. Now, that's not to say that you guys know me that have been watching the channel. Those of you that don't, I'm not a tool snob. I do shop at Harbor Freight. We'll walk on over here, and I'll show you the Harbor Freight wall. So a Bauer, I have just about all the Bauer cordless hand tools that you can get. The place is a mess right now because we just got done working. But I also have just about all of the Milwaukee stuff as well. So I have a little bit of both. And the reason I have a little bit of both is because not every job requires a tool as nice as a Milwaukee. But there are jobs that do require a Milwaukee. Specifically, the Milwaukees that I just got specifically for Christmas is this bad boy. This bad boy right here is the real deal. If you don't have one of these, you need one, trust me. This is the high torque fuel brushless 1/2-inch impact, and I'm telling you, there's air impacts that aren't as strong as this thing. Without a doubt, this is a monster. So I definitely suggest if you don't have one, get your hands on one. They're very expensive, but they're worth it. As most things that are worth it, they are expensive. So that's one thing. The other thing that I got for Christmas is this guy right here, the brushless fuel Milwaukee cordless grinder. I had the Bauer cordless grinder, and it's okay, but it's not a Milwaukee cordless grinder. I'll tell you that right now. This thing is very nice. It does like to eat its batteries though. So back to what we're doing here tonight. I was a road mechanic for a forklift company for about 10 years before I started into middle management. And at that point when I was a road mechanic, my tool storage really took, let's call it, at that time, a couple different steps. When I was a shop mechanic, you guys have all seen my big red toolbox, which is over there. That was my main toolbox in the shop, and then the black roll-around part that I have over there was essentially my, how do you want to put it? It was the main box that I used in the shop. But what I would do when I went out on the road, I would probably just go out and buy a Cobalt or just some type of junk toolbox, because riding around in the back of a van, it was going to get junked up anyway, until I found one of the Vidmar cabinets at the shop, just kind of hiding in the corner. And the Vidmar is that cabinet right there in the middle that I still have. That is my original Vidmar. That cabinet ran around with me for a long time, and that was my main toolbox. There's that black cart that I was talking about. So the Vidmar was nice for all of my tools, but I still needed a place to put all of my hardware and miscellaneous things like that that you carried around with you every day. Well, I started with this. Yes, I'm kind of ashamed to say that I started with a 5-gallon bucket, just clear full of bolts. You need something, you dump the bucket out, you go hunting for it. Well, obviously being in a very competitive industry, that wasn't going to work very long. I may have had that for 10, 15 weeks, something like that, whatever. Just long enough to realize that that was not the solution that I ultimately wanted. So then from there, the first storage or organizer solution that I actually started using was the Dewalt System. And that's what you see here. Now the Dewalt System, it worked for the longest time, and you guys know how the Dewalt system works. It's got these side clips, right? It worked for the longest time, and I didn't mind it. The only thing, the side clips wouldn't hold very well, and you know, they would sometimes let go, and you would end up with a mess. So the other thing is these clips. I mean, these things are kind of chintzy. They would pop out. It just wouldn't work. And in the industry, like I said, that I was in, it just wasn't working out very well. So I actually finished my time as a road mechanic. I think I had 6 of those, and pretty much they're set up just like they are. Let me get one down here and I'll show you. Well, I'll get them both down. This is one problem of doing everything in one shop. Everything gets covered in dust. So this is the electrical, and there's probably not much electrical in it right now because I've pretty much moved out of these, but there is some electrical stuff left in there. Some butt connectors, yellow butt connectors, and this is just random stuff, but that one's pretty much empty. The one that I do still use, and this is what used to pain me. Have to unclip one, have to unclip the other, and then you can move it. So this is the one, and I still use this one because it's got British or metric, hateful metric system bolts in it. And what I would normally do, I would just load up on a whole bunch of bolts, and then, you know, different sizes. Obviously, everything's mixed in here. There's flat washers, lock washers, and nuts. All, I believe these are M8s, if I'm not mistaken. And then I'll have an M8. Here's your M8 bin that has different length M8 bolts. So that was essentially what I did for all my hardware. And this is essentially, you know, they would keep pretty good, even though there's no dust seal like the Packouts have. But they worked until Packout came out with a much better system. The other thing I didn't like about these, of course, 2 latches to get that closed, and now you've got to, you know, close the latches on the side. Trying to get these things lined up. Packout, you kind of got the same problem, but once they're lined up, they're lined up. You don't have to do anything. And the Dewalt system never went much further than the organizers, at least while I was involved with the Dewalt system. So then I started working with my current company, and I was driving a company truck. And you guys have all seen, if you haven't seen my Packout set up in the back of the pickup truck, I'll link to that below. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about here before we jump into the Bauer system, is what I've been trying to do. And I'm trying to elaborate a little bit further on that Packout system in the back of my pickup truck. As you all know, I have a plate that goes in the back of the truck right back here, and I'm actually going to build one for KJ's truck here. Just haven't done it yet. And on that plate, I have a couple of these, what they call plates, that you can see bolted to the wall back there. There's 3 of those across the truck bed, and they hold my Packouts at the very end of the truck. And what was happening when I was carrying these around is if I would hit the brakes or whatever, they would slide to the front. And obviously with a tonneau cover, we all know what a pain that can be. And I did have a 2x6 from side to side in the bed, but you know, even that would pop out if you hit the brakes hard enough. So I was looking for a solution that wouldn't happen anymore, and it was Packout. So I bought my first Packout. Actually, I believe this is my very first Packout purchase, was the roller cart. And as you can see, I have the Kaizen collars on it already, and that's so you can take the handle off of it. But that was one of my first purchases, and that purchase really propelled me into a world of Packout that, you know, it's an addiction. It becomes an addiction. It really does. So what I've really moved up to now is this little dolly. So that is the Packout dolly. There's 2 sets of the 3 drawers on there, and then I have a whole bunch of hardware on top, and then of course a workstation on the very top of it. So the way I work with this, let me set up the camera here. So the way I work with this, and I don't have it yet perfected. I'm trying to figure out what tools all to put in it. But what I've been trying to do is, you can see here, body screws, body bolts, USA nuts and fasteners, and DC electrical. We're currently putting Pat together, so most of this stuff is being used. So what I'll do is, if I need some clips, open it up there, and then you just grab the one above it. So as you can see here, it's up against the wall, so it's not going to fall back. There's nothing to keep it from falling back if it weren't there, but it would. So I've got all my body bolts and clips there. If I need something, it's there. It's nice and handy, and as you can see, because of the dust shield, it's not dusty under there. And then you guys saw the metric in the in the Versalock. I think it's Versalock. No, that's Craftsman. I don't know. Whatever the Dewalt System is. And this is what I started doing here. This is all American hardware. So 1/2-inch washers, lock washers, 1/2-inch nuts. All the big stuff is in the back. But I've got a good arrangement here: 1/4 inch, 5/16, 3/8, and then all of the stuff to match it. So this is all American hardware in this Packout, and this is really nice, especially here in the garage. It saves me a trip over to the corner to get bolts if I'm clear on this side. Now, granted, it's only 25 feet to walk over there, but you would be surprised how much time it saves in a matter of putting one of these trucks together. And then under that, I have the one that you guys have all seen, and that's my DC electrical bin, and that has all my butt connectors in it, fuses, and some other little stuff in there. So what I've been working on here is trying to figure out what I'm going to put in these drawers. So right now in the top drawer, I've got a couple electrical pliers over here, some butt connector pliers, and some dikes. Second drawer down, this is my wire ties. Third drawer down, right now this is was originally for screwdrivers. Like I said, I'm not a tool snob. I do like I will buy just about everything and anything. There's a Doyle. So anyway, this was set up for screwdrivers, and as you can see, I got some vice grips in here. Top drawer here. This is again. This is my original. This is the drawer set that I carry around in the back of the truck 9 times out of 10, and this was all set up for that. So I've got various vice grips and pliers. Some impact wrenches, and then down here essentially just big wrenches. That's my Sawzall blades and a cable for doing some programming. Like I said though, I don't have these figured out yet. I don't know what all I'm going to keep in these, but what my eventual plan is that I want to be able to load this stuff directly into the back of the truck, in a hurry, lickety split, and then head on over to Pap's and help him do whatever he needs to do, or that way we can get into his garage. And I'll bring over some of my tools. That way we, we're multifaceted and we can do a lot of things. The work table on top is just to keep from busting the top plastic. And obviously, as you can see, it's already got some overspray on it, but it's working. It's doing what it was intended to do. But so on to the Bauer system and what I think of that. Like I said earlier, I do believe it is an inferior product, but you're only paying half as much. So just about everything that they have that matches the Packout right now is just about almost exactly half as much. So is it worth it? For somebody that doesn't use these things every day, I touch a Packout box every day, whether it's one of these, whether it's this thing. If I'm out here in the garage, I'm using them. So they're very robust. I only think I've busted 2 of them so far. KJ has run over a couple of the milk crates, and other than that, they've held up very well. Let's see if I can find the one that was run over here. One of these has been run over. Metric wrenches, drills, staple guns, KJ's tools. I bet you it's in the back of my truck because it's not in here right now. But you can see how I label them, just with a Sharpie on the front. KJ's tools, staple guns, drills. I have enough staple guns that I needed a Packout to put them in. And trust me, now that they're in there, I know where they're at. I don't have to go looking for them. Paint guns, I got that one set up for paint guns with a pressure regulator system in it. My survey stuff for when I go out for work. Ford screws, that's bullnose screws. The one above it is for Super Duties. I'm sorry, here's for Super Duties. It had to be bigger because we had more, I guess. Pressure test kit, PSI. It's got a bunch of pressure gauges in it and random fittings and stuff. You guys have seen all that stuff. And then, of course, these are all my overrun tools down below. SAE wrenches, metric wrenches, USA 3/8 half-inch drive. And then my AC electrical cabinet is down there. It's a bigger cabinet because the AC stuff is a lot bigger. And the DC over there is just a half. I do believe that this, yes, this is it. So this is the mowing Packout, and this one was actually driven over by the trailer. And as you can see, it does have some stress marks, some stress fading, and it doesn't exactly match up. But guess what? The stupid thing still works, right? It's still connected. It's still, I mean, the dust seal probably doesn't work very well anymore. But so it, yeah, this popped out. You know, some guys just pull those out. I'm sure I could push that right back in there. But as you can see, this has got our mowing stuff in it. A couple hoses for the BX, a wire or a wheel, a new belt for the deck, some 2-cycle oil, and then, like I said, that was run over by KJ's trailer, so it's still holding in there. Now, do I think that one of those boxes from Bauer would handle KJ driving over it with a trailer? Not a chance in the world. They're a resin plastic. They're fiberglass reinforced resin plastic, and they're gonna break. They're not gonna flex. They're not gonna move like this stuff does. They're just gonna flat out break off. And that's not something I want because, you know, let's face it, yes, in a perfect world, you're not gonna run over your Packout, but it's not a perfect world, guys. You know that just as well as I do. It's just something that you got to be wary of, and I guess if you don't want to make the investment on the onset and you don't have the money to make the investment, the Bauer product is probably a good alternative for you. As far as what I was doing, what I wanted to do, Packout is the way I chose, and obviously, like I said earlier, I have such an investment in Packout that I can't walk away from it now to start reinvesting in another system. Obviously, I have a system. You know, my Packouts are a full system. I built this rack specifically so that the Packouts would fit on it. And you say, built the rack? I did. I cut this rack down from a full-size rack, and actually, it's the same uprights, racking uprights as those are over there. It's just I cut them down and made them as wide as I wanted them, and then welded it all back together. So that is a custom-made rack specifically for my Packouts. And they're not all over here. You guys know that. I have many more, but they're all in different places here in the garage because we're working. And there's still a whole setup in the back of my truck. There's some stuff over there I think KJ was using to vacuum tonight. So, but my garage is 24 foot deep and 34 or 32 foot long. So I do a lot of stuff out of this little shop. Right now, I would say it's about 10 degrees outside. My heater hasn't run for, I bet a half hour. And it's still somewhat comfortable out here. It's just starting to chill off. But the heater was on all night, my torpedo heater, and you guys have seen that. I actually am putting this torpedo heater back together right now. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and run my little bit of footage today from Harbor Freight when I visited there at lunchtime so you guys can at least see what I'm talking about. And I'm gonna do a voiceover because I didn't talk while I was in the store. I just collected the video at that time and figured I'd do a voiceover once I put it all together. So, all right, you guys can check that out now. I'm sure by now you guys already know that the Bauer modular tool storage system is about half the cost of the Milwaukee Packout system. But with that cost savings, you also don't have, I would say, the modular ability or the total package yet. They only have, I believe it's 5 items available right now. This store did not have the milk crate in stock, but they did have the organizers, which is what I'm looking at here. I couldn't get it all the way open because of that tag, but for the most part, I didn't really need to get it all the way open. It has ample storage inside from the looks of things. I believe there's 8 containers, 2 which are large, and the rest of them are small. But the biggest complaint that I have about the system is that lower box only has a capacity of 150 pounds. You can easily put 150 pounds worth of tools in just that box, but once you start putting the Packout system together, or I'm sorry, the modular tool system together, you're gonna rack the weight up real quick, and then you're gonna overload that lower box and the wheels and the axles on it. And that's one of the weak points of the Milwaukee Packout system as well, is those wheels on that lower box. But the lower box, I only have one of those in Packout, and I don't know that I would want any more, to be honest with you. It's nice for some jobs, but it is what it is. So here you can see I've taken 2 of the modular storage units, organizers, and you see me snapping them into place there. The Bauer system is kind of, I would call it an amalgamation of the Dewalt system and the Packout system. It's kind of like they both got together, and this is what they came up with. This is the one thing that I do appreciate, is those slide-in organizers. That's one of the things that I don't appreciate there, is how there's interference with the handle. So I just put the handle down there so that I could get the medium toolbox lid to stay open. And these slide-in organizers, like I said, I do appreciate that design and how you can organize your screwdrivers or pliers in that box. Now, it does take a lot of room, and you essentially, if you had those full, essentially that's about all you could use that box for. But again, I do appreciate that design, and it's something that I may actually incorporate into my Milwaukee Packout stack. But for the most part, I got this all put together here. And like I said, 150-pound capacity on that axle and on that lower unit. So you can see how quickly, if you start stacking this stuff up, you put some hardware in those organizer bins and some tools in that one toolbox. So here is the small toolbox, or another organizer bin. It really doesn't know what it wants to be, simply because of the how it comes there with those organizer containers. But once again, the latches are robust, and the whole system in all is pretty robust. And again, for half the cost of Packout, it is capable. It all depends on what you're going to be doing with it. My main objective with the Packout was so that they don't slide around the bed of my truck. And I'm sure these would work very well for that as well, until those side clips start to break. And I don't know what the warranty policy will be for Bauer, what they're going to do with those side clips. I know to get any parts, usually you have to go to the internet, to their website to get things ordered. But for now, they have 5 units available. Like I said, they have the crate, the small toolbox, the medium toolbox, the organizers, and the roll-around box. So at 50% the cost of Packout, it probably is worth it if that's all you have money for. I mean, they're not junk. They're not Packout. They're going to work, but they don't have the modular. I guess they don't have as many pieces. All right, so yeah, that's Bauer. That's Harbor Freight's Bauer brand tool storage system. And like I said, I don't want everybody to run out there and just start spending all their money on Packout. For me, Packout was the answer. For somebody else, Bauer just might be the answer. That might be the way that you need to go, just simply because it's a much more affordable program than the Packout. It's a lot easier to obtain because of the cost, of course. I prefer Packout. I'm sure Bauer's going to come out with a whole bunch more things. It's not just going to be the 5 boxes that they currently have. They're probably going to go ahead and have deeper boxes, shallower boxes. I don't know. The one thing I do like I said in the video, is that they have those pull-out cards that you can put all your tools and stuff on, and that to me is a pretty cool idea. I have to commend them for that. But for the most part, if you do want to get into the Packout world and you don't want to spend Packout money, well, then the Bauer modular tool system is for you. It's not quite, it's not designed exactly the same. It has the little clips on the side like the Dewalt system. It's a little more of a hassle to get them to lock down, but it still works, and you can't fault it because it is gonna work. All right, so I'm glad you guys stuck around with me here and listened to my rambling about this kind of stuff. If you like these videos, make sure you like and subscribe down there at the bottom. Let me know what you think of my ideas and thoughts on tool storage and just in general, you know, what's going on here. If you like to watch guys struggle as they rebuild old beat up pickup trucks and stuff like that, well, you can check out the rest of my channel where that's what we do. Like I said, we currently have Pat in the garage here, a 1986 F-150 that I did full frame up restoration on. This truck actually was on the rotisserie, and you're saying to yourself, Mongo, you put that rusty old truck on the rotisserie? Why on earth did you not paint it? Well, I'm leaving it in the patina finish. It's going to stay that way. Actually, right now, it's up on jack stands, of course. But Pat's going to stay this way until we deem that we don't like it anymore. And actually, it's in pretty good shape. There's no rust other than the surface rust, of course, on the body. But that's what we're going to leave. Other than that, mechanically, this thing is sound. We went all through it. Of course, like I said, it was on the rotisserie. The rotisserie is actually sitting over there, the two green pieces. And that's what has been keeping us busy. So, all right, that's all for now. Glad you guys could join us here on Tool Time with Mongo. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now.